I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. We continue in the Gospels. We're now down in Judea, around Jerusalem. He's been in Galilee for the most part, for several months, at least 6 months, maybe up to a year, but I'd say more like 6 months. He comes back down to Jerusalem for the Feast of Tabernacles. Could be the next Passover, but I think it's the Feast of Tabernacles. And he's got a lot of controversy about doing stuff on the Sabbath. First time he gets down there, he heals a man at the pool of Bethesda on the Sabbath. Gets in trouble for that. A week or two later, his disciples are picking corn on the Sabbath. Gets in trouble for that, where he declares himself Lord of the Sabbath. Now, he is healing a man who has a withered hand on the Sabbath. We just read that in Matthew, and how that was a fulfillment of prophecy. Now we're going to read the same story in Luke. It's very brief in Luke, so this will be a short video, but in this video we have a Joseph Smith translation. Now what the Joseph Smith translation is, this is a translation or correction done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that have been lost or corrupted over the years. This is Luke chapter 6, verse 6 through 11. And it came to pass also on another Sabbath that he entered into the synagogue and taught. And there was a man whose right hand was withered. And the scribes and the Pharisees watched him, whether he would heal on the Sabbath day, that they might find an accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts, and said to the man which had the withered hand, Rise up, and stand forth in the midst. And he arose and stood forth. Then said Jesus unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the Sabbath days to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it? And looking round about upon them all, he said unto the man, Stretch forth thy hand. And he did so, and his hand was restored whole as the other. And they were filled with madness, and communed one with another what they might do to Jesus. And it came to pass in those days that he went out into a mountain to pray, and continued all night in prayer to God. So I read an extra verse there. I read verse 12. This is a little different than what we read in Matthew, though. In Matthew, they asked him if it was lawful to heal on the Sabbath. And he gives them kind of the parable of, you will save an animal from a pit on the Sabbath. How can you say it is not lawful to heal on the Sabbath? It is lawful to do good. In this one, though, Christ is more, you might say, proactive in his dealings with them, where they are just watching him. They say, how we have somebody who needs to be healed. Will Christ do it? Will we have something here? And Christ, perceiving their thoughts, then asks them the question. It's an interesting thing, and exactly how this played out, I guess we'll never actually know, because we have these two fairly conflicting accounts. Did he heal the man with the withered hand? Yes. Did he teach that it is good to heal on the Sabbath, that the Sabbath is for doing good? Most definitely. How did he teach it? That's a little fuzzy, because we have these two somewhat conflicting accounts. But they teach the same basic thing. We do good on the Sabbath. We heal. We help. The Sabbath is not just there to sit and do nothing, and to afflict one's body and soul. No, it is to do good. So now, let us look at the Joseph Smith translation here for Luke. In verse 8, it just changes which to who. In verse 9, takes out the word it at the end. So, to save life or to destroy it is just now to save life or to destroy. In verse... No, that's it. That's all there is. Very minor, almost not worth mentioning. So we leave that here, and we'll pick it up in Mark. I'll see you there.